أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته أهلا وسهلا ومرحبا بكم. So we are starting with التدريبات, and we have the first تدريب التدريب الأول. As always, it starts with the vocabulary exercise, right? So here we have الطعام. الطعام is food, and we need to find the word from the list, right? الطعام. Makan, makan is place or area, right? Makan, and here we have makan. Al-istiqbal, al-istiqbal means the receiving or the reception, reception or receiving. Okay, so it has that kind of meaning, right? And here's the word. An-nawm is the sleep, and here is a nawm. Ijar, ijarun is rent, right? Rent. And here's your ijar. And we have arba'atun, which is 4, okay? And we have 4 here, right? Now, next at-tadrib, we have at-tadrib al-thani. We have these similar, but it's just that we have a sentence here. Aina al-baytu ya bakru. Aina al-baytu ya bakru. We analyzed this word, this sentence before, so I'm not going to in detail here. Aina al-baytu ya bakru, it means where is the house, O Bakr. And here's your sentence, right? Then we have kam hujratan fil bayti. Kam hujratan fil bayti. We also had the same sentence before in the text. It means how many rooms are in the house, right? Kam hujratan fil bayti. And here's the sentence, kam hujratan fil bayti. And we also have هل في البيت مكان استقبال, right? We also had the same sentence. Is there any reception area in the house? Okay, or in the house, is there any reception area? Now, and here's the first one. So just wanted to quickly point out, as we're learning new words and sentences, and we still have to keep up with our grammar rules. For example, we have al-baytu, okay, instead of baytun, al-baytu. Why? Because it's alif lam. And we just learned a new rule. It should be bakrun. Maybe I should use a different color. No, it should be bakrun, but we say bakru here because of ya, okay? When we use ya to call someone, ya Muhammadu, ya Khal, we have to lose the tanween, okay? So we cannot say bakrun, you have to say ya bakru. And here's another rule we learned, that after come, when you have come, you're asking about how many or how much. Then after come, we have to put what? We have to put fatha, okay? Kam hujratan. And we also know the famous rule, after preposition, we need to put kasra, fil bayti. Now, and this one is, we have been seeing this kind of construction in Arabic. It's called idafa, right? So idafa is when we combine two words to give a new meaning or to use a possession, right, of. So we have makanu istiqbal, and the way we realize is the first one cannot have tanween, and that's why we cannot say makanun, because the word is what? Makanun, which is place. But we can't have tanween because it is part of idafa, okay? And that's why we have only one dhamma, and the second part of idafa is always in kasra. Now it is whether it's one kasra or two kasra, that will depends on whether the word is definite or indefinite, right? Here the word is indefinite, istiqbal is indefinite, that's why it is tanween. If it was al istiqbal, then it would have one tanween. You can say this makanu, you can say this makanul istiqbal. So here the translation, I'll just wanted to quickly mention, the translation would be, this would be it is a reception area, and here it would be the reception area. Okay, you still cannot put alif lam in the first one. You can never put alif lam in the first part of idafa. Okay, these are the two rules. You cannot put alif lam. You can't also put tanween. And the second one is always get kasra. Okay, now Jayid, so let's quickly go because we have a lot to cover here. التدريب الثالث is your pronunciation or listening, hamil and khamil. So here they are distinguishing between the ha and kha. Okay, as I'm keep on reminding you, if you need this kind of help, please don't ignore these exercises and repeat until you're comfortable. جيد. And the next تدريب we have التدريب الرابع. التدريب الرابع, it's talking about pronouns, right? So in Arabic, pronoun is called ضمير. 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 Okay. This is one pronoun, and the plural will be ضمائر. ضمائر. ضمير. ضمائر. Okay, pronouns. Now, okay, so we have few pronouns here. So first one is ana. Ana is I. Okay, and what they're showing you here is that in Arabic language, the pronouns, we have different pronouns for different gender. Okay, as you probably realize by now, in Arabic language, the gender is very important, right? There's a pretty good separation between the masculine and feminine. Okay, so almost every situation you will come across where the one word or there's a one way to address something that is feminine, another way for masculine. Okay, so but what they're showing here for ana, I, there is no difference. Okay, so whether the man, it's a man, masculine or feminine, you use the same pronoun ana, because the context is very clear. You know, you're speaking, you're saying ana, I, and you know it is clear that the gender is very clear. Okay, so you can say ana bakrun, I am Bakr, or you can say ana Muhammadun, I am Muhammad, or you can say ana Khalid, okay, I'm Khalid. Likewise, you can say ana Khadija, I am Khadija, which is a name of a female person. You can say ana Amina, 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 okay, I am Amina. This is a mod Amina, right? Or ana Aisha. So you will be using the same pronoun. Okay. There's the issue here about ending with feminine name, inshallah, something that we will study them later. Just I wanted to point out, because if you're still wondering what's going on, why we have Bakrun here and they left this one here. Here you cannot say Khadijatun, that would be wrong. Okay, you cannot say Khadijatun. The feminine names, you cannot take tanween. Okay, there's a special case, inshallah. We'll be learning about those later. So if you are wondering, you have to say Ana Khadijatu, Ana Aminatu. Okay, so you cannot say Ana Aminatun. All right, so just keep that in mind. Inshallah, it's a little bit a complicated topic. Inshallah, we'll talk about those as time comes. Jayed. And the next, the pronoun we have is anta. Anta, we had this word last time, which is you, and we say anta with the fatha is for masculine, and we have anti with kasra is for feminine, right? So you say anta Bakrun, anta Muhammad, anta Khalid. For anti, you say anti Khadija, anti Amina, anti Aisha. So here you have to be very careful. Okay, you cannot be mixing these two pronouns. You can't use anti for a masculine person. For example, here you cannot say anti Bakrun. It is, you know, it's wrong in many different ways. It's wrong in a grammatical way, and you know, it's also wrong in a personal level, right? So if you're saying someone, if you're talking to someone which is a male person and you're saying anti, you know, anti Muhammad, you know, that's not quite good. So we have to be careful about these pronouns. So you say anta Bakrun, anti Khadija. Again, you cannot say Khadijatun, you have to say Khadijatu. Now we have huwa. Huwa is he. Okay, we also said it can also be it, but anyway, here the context is he. And here is she. Same story. Huwa Bakrun, huwa Muhammad, huwa Khalidun, right? He is Bakr. So we are using huwa for he. And here is for she. Here Khadijatu, okay? Here Aminatu, here Aishatu. All right, so please memorize them and please do understand the difference between masculine and feminine and try to use them properly. جيد. Okay, so we have التدريب الخامس, the fifth exercise. Here they are showing you how to answer the question of hal. Okay, we had seen this type of question before. Hal basically is asking you a yes no question. Okay, yes or no question. So when someone asks you with hal, you have to answer either by naam, which is yes, and la means no. Okay. There's another tool you can use instead of hal, which is hamza. I don't know if the book will introduce or not. I'll just mention it here, and then maybe I'll give you one example. But these are exactly same thing. Whether you say hal or a, they have exactly same usage and meaning. Now, so the first one we have هل المسجد قريب من البيت, right? So shouldn't be difficult to translate. Is the mosque is close to the house? Now, what I wanted to show you is, unlike English, when you're asking yes, no question, you have to change the original statement a little bit. For example, you're saying, he is a student, right? Now, if you're asking, you have to say, is he a student? So you have to take the is outside of the original statement, right? But in Arabic, it's quite simple. It's extremely simple to make this kind of question. How so? So let's say, for example, if we remove this hal from here, okay, and we just look at this statement here, it says al-masjidu qaribun min al-bayti. It is a complete sentence without any problem, right? So we're saying the mosque is close to the house. So if you want to ask whether or not the mosque is close to the house, all you do is add the hal. هل المسجد قريب من البيت? Okay, so you don't have to touch the original statement at all. So instead of saying the masjid is close to the house, now you're asking, is the mosque close to the house? Okay, and you should know why we have a kasra here. We talked about it because after sukun, when you have alif lam, you have to use kasra or sometimes fatha or dhamma. Now they're answering naam, yes, al-masjidu qaribun min al-bayt. As you can see here, nothing changed. This is exactly the same sentence, right? Someone asking you if the mosque is close to the house, and you're answering, they pretty much same thing. Only thing is that you're changing something in the beginning. You use hal for question, and you're saying naam to confirm, and then make the statement. All right. Here, even if you don't say the sentence, you just say naam, that's fine. You know, it's understood. Just like in English, we say, is it close? You say yes, that's fine. But in the beginning, you should be using more complete sentence, okay, to get used to the language. Now, and the next one we have, هل أنت طبيب? Are you, what is طبيب? Doctor, are you a doctor? Okay, and here's answer is نعم أنا. How would you say it? Now this is a little bit different because here they're asking about you, so the pronoun is you, and now you have to say, and by the way, this is a masculine, and now you have to answer. You cannot say, you cannot just simply repeat the statement like before, right? So you have to replace anta with ana, I. Naam, yes, I am طبيب. Okay, طبيب. Yes, I am what? I am طبيب. I am a doctor. Here we have هل البيت قريب من العيادة. Remember this word, عيادة is clinic, right? So is your house close to the clinic? نعم, yes, البيت قريب من العيادة. You can just simply repeat the whole thing. Okay. Now, so now they left few empty spaces, so you can come up with many different ways to ask this question and answer with yes or no. Okay, for example, instead of saying close, you can say halil baitu ba'id anil iyada. You can say that. You can say halil baitu halil baitu ba'id. Okay, ba'id. Now you have to say an. Remember, after ba'id, you say an anil iyada. Again, you need kasra because of an, right? So then you can answer naam al-baytu ba'idun anil iyada. Right? You can make another statement. For example, here it says hal anta tabib. Someone may ask you uh, hal anti. What if someone asks you hal anti? So that means in this context, the person is talking to a feminine or female person, right? So you're saying hal anti. Now let's say you want to say the same word, doctor. Okay, here you cannot say hal anti tabib. If you say hal anti tabib, okay, this would be a wrong because tabib is for male doctor. So how do you make a female doctor? It's very simple. You just add ta marbuta. Okay, tabiba. Okay, hal anti tabibatun? Are you a female doctor? And when you say yes, I am, the I is the same. So you can say naam, naam, ana tabiba. Okay, yes, I am a tabibatun. I am a doctor. All right, inshallah, you can use a similar sentence to do the rest. Now they're showing you answering by saying no. هل أنت مدرس? Are you a teacher? لا أنا طبيب. Here he was asking about are you a teacher? Now you have to change. No, I'm not teacher, so you have to say something. So who are you, right? So you say لا أنا طبيب. Okay, or you can say طالب, student, right? Now هل أنت ضابط? Are you an officer? You can say لا أنا. That means no, I am what? What can you say? Here you can say أنا طبيب. Okay, أنا طبيب. The main thing is they're teaching you how to say yes and no. Okay, and the next one we have هل أنت رجل مرور? Remember this word we have, this compound word we had a long time ago, right? What is رجل مرور means? Traffic man. Okay, رجل مرور is the traffic man. And you can say لا أنا مدرس. I don't know, you can say anything, right? مدرس. No? All right, so inshallah, you can probably make a similar question, هل أنت, or you can try to use feminine form. For example, هل أنت معلمة? معلمة. معلمة is what? Is the same thing as hold on. Same thing as مدرسة. مدرسة. معلمة and مدرسة is same thing. So you can say لا أنا طالبة. Okay, أنا طالبة. No, I am a student. All right. Now, التدريب السادس we have كم برتقالة في الطبق. Okay, so what we said about كم is that it means how much or how many. Okay, it depends on the context, right? So برتقالة means orange. Okay, orange and orange. في الطبق. طبق means what? طبق means dish or plate, right? في الطبق. Now remember what we said. Remember what we said about come. Okay, after come, when you're asking about something, how many or how much, what happens? The word or the noun, it always gets what? It always gets fatha. Okay, that's what we have here. Kam burtuqalatan. Okay, It's not burtuqalatun. And second thing that we said is what? Even though in English we say how many oranges, okay, how many oranges, you're asking about orange. In Arabic language, we say in the singular form. So burtuqala, it's an orange, okay? It's singular form. Okay, so remember these two rules about using kam. Okay, and the number one is that the word has to be in the fatha, and then you have to use a singular noun. For example, you're asking about how many pens, although you're saying pens in English, in Arabic you will say kam qala man. Qalam is one pen, and you are saying in fatha qala man, not qalamun. Okay, keep these things in your mind. So how do you translate this sentence? You will say how many oranges are in the plate, and then we have the answer is في الطبق ثلاث برتقالات. Okay, في الطبق ثلاث برتقالات. So in the plate, okay, in the plate, three, if you're translating word for word, three oranges. So burtuqalat, okay, burtuqalat with the alif and ta here, it is the plural of burtuqala. Okay, so here are a few things I want to mention. Number one, most of the time, it's not always, when you have a word that ends in ta marbuta, its plural is something called sound feminine plural. Okay, so it's something maybe inshallah it will come in the later. I'll just quickly mention this. So for example, you have the word burtuqal, okay, burtuqala with the ta marbuta, right? So how do you make it into plural? As I said, most of the time, not always, we'll see some exception. All you have to do is remove the ta here, okay, and then add alif and ta, open ta. So this is your closed ta or ta al-marbuta, and this is your open ta, okay? So what's the result? The result is bur, burtuqalat, okay? So you're removing, okay, burtuqalatun. So you're removing the ta marbuta, okay? And then you're just simply adding what? You're adding the alif and ta, okay? For example, you have Muslima, which is a female Muslim, Muslimatun. And if you're saying in the plural form, you say Muslimatun. Okay, Muslimatun. All right. So it looks like only thing we're doing is what? We are removing the ta marbuta and we're just adding alif and open ta. Okay, this is called sound feminine plural. Inshallah, we'll learn about those things later. And I also wanted to quickly mention that the plural in Arabic language starts from what? Starts from three. So the two is not plural in Arabic language. It's called dual. It has a special way of dealing with. Inshallah, it's also will come. Now, so we have what? We have burtuqalatin. Okay, so let's analyze this sentence. So in the plate, thalathu burtuqalatin. So remember the rules. I'll quickly mention because in the last video I went a little bit in details. Here I'll quickly mention when you're saying three of something, 3 books, 3 pens, 3 oranges, or any number from 3 to 10. Remember what I said? Number one, that you have to put them in idafa from. Okay, so that's why we have this idafa. Thalathu burtuqalatin. All right, so we have this idafa form. Second, what we said is that when we are using the number, we have to use the opposite of the gender. So if the noun is feminine, for example, we have a feminine noun here, burtuqala. Why? Because it's ending with tamarbuta. So we have to use the opposite. Okay, so we're saying thalathu instead of saying thalathatu. All right, we went details last time, so I'm not going to be going too much in detail. So just something to keep in mind, right? And then then you'll be using the plural form. Okay, so you say thalathu burtuqalatin. Okay, now, so we can translate in the plate there are 3 oranges. Now, So now it's asking kam hujratan fil bayti. Okay, same rule. We have kam, how many? Hujratan, we have the fatha, and hujra is a singular, is for a room. Okay, so all of these conditions you have to make sure you understand. Okay, kam hujratan fil bayti, in the house. So how do you answer? Okay, so when you're answering this kind of questions, how many of something in somewhere, right, or on somewhere, you usually start with the location or the place. So here we say fil bayti first. You say fil bayti, fil bayti. So in the house, how many rooms? Let's say we want to say, let's stick with 3 right now, so that we're comfortable with the structure first. So how do you say 3 rooms? Number 1, we have to know what kind of number 3 are we going to be using. Is it going to be masculine or feminine? It depends on what? It depends on this word, whether this word is masculine or feminine. So hujra is a feminine word because it has ta marbuta. So we'll be using the opposite. So we'll be saying what? Thalathu. Thalathu. Now we have to say rooms in the plural form. So remember the plural form for rooms, hujurat, hujurat, okay? And now, of course, we have to put them in idafa form, thalathu hujuratin. Fil bayti, thalathu hujuratin. Right? Now, and the next one we have kam shajaratan fil hadiqati. How many? Shajar is what? Tree, a tree. So we say how many trees. In English we translate as a plural. How many trees are in the garden? Okay, so you start saying fil hadiqati, fil hadiqati. Let's say now we want to say five trees. Okay, remember 5 we can say khamsatun, which is the default, khamsatun, or you can say khamsun, okay? But this is the default. Remember what I mentioned last time? With the ta marbuta, thalathatun, arba'atun, khamsatun, sittatun, these are the default. So which one we'll be using? It depends on, again, this word. This is a feminine word, so we have to use khamsu. Khamsu, why am I saying khamsu? Because it will be putting in idafa form. Now we have to know how to say trees in plural, okay? So we have shajara. How do you say plural? Trees. Here you can use the technique that I explained to you. When you have ta marbuta, then you just add alif and ta, right? You can say shajaratun as a plural. Okay, basically you're removing ta marbuta and you're adding alif and ta. But the most common used plural for shajara is actually broken plural, which is ashjar. Ashjar. Ashjarun. Okay? Shajaratun ashjarun. So here you have to say khamsu ashjarin. Right? Khamsu ashjarin. 5 trees. Now remember what we said, that in order to find out whether the word is masculine or feminine, you have to go back to what? The singular noun. Why? Because look at this word, ashjar. When you look at this word, ashjar, you're probably thinking the word is masculine. Why? Because there's no ta marbuta and there's no way you see that this word is feminine. That's why you cannot be looking at the plural, you have to go back to the singular. And when you look at the singular, and yes, this word is feminine because it has ta marbuta, okay? So that's why the rule is you have to go back to the singular noun and then find out whether or not the noun is masculine or feminine, okay? Now, looks like all of this exercise here, they gave you a feminine word, okay? So that's fine. So let's look at the next one. Kam thallajatan. Thallaja is what? Freezer, right? So your refrigerator, right? So you're saying how many refrigerator in the room, fil hujrati, okay? And you can say any number. You can say, for example, في الحجرة في الحجرة أربع. Well, nobody has four refrigerator anyway, but let's just say it. For أربع. Why we're saying أربع? Because we have ta marbuta, so we have to use the opposite. أربع. Now, what is the plural for ثلاجة? This one you can use the sound feminine plural that I mentioned. So it's basically simply you say ثلاجات. Okay, ثلاجات. So what are you doing? You're just removing the ta marbuta and adding alif and ta, and you put them in إضافة form. So you say في الحجرة أربع ثلاجات. Okay. Now, so the next one, inshallah, you can do the next one. Only thing I'll tell you is that the plural for this word, kurasa, remember, is a notebook, right? Notebook. Its plural is, you just add alif and ta, just like the one we did before, right? Kurasat. There's the other plural, but you can use this one also. Kurasatun. Okay. So the kurasatun, you have to change the form. Okay. So make sure you follow those rules and inshallah, try to do this one. Now,